Have you ever wondered if cryptocurrency is just a fad and a trend that's just going to die off and go away? Or you're sitting there asking yourself, is this a real asset class that I should have exposure to? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what cryptocurrency is and why it has value and why I believe it is the biggest thing since the internet. Let's go ahead and jump right in, and I'll share with you exactly why crypto is a big deal. Now, what I'm going to share with you is what crypto actually is, why it is so valuable and growing so quickly, and how you can actually invest into it and lower fees and lower the main risks that come along with it. Now, what you need to understand is, first of all, have some context into what the market is. So right now we're sitting at a $1.6 trillion market cap. Bitcoin has about 43.5% dominance with about 738 billion in just Bitcoin alone. These altcoins are really alternative coins to Bitcoin. That's what alt stands for. They have about 900 billion in them, okay? There are more than 10,000 cryptocurrencies worldwide. That's why a lot of people are like, dude, what do I even buy? I don't even know where to start, right? But you got to realize, since inception, okay, crypto's had over a 200% per year on average growth, right? That is ridiculous. Now, if you actually would look at this graph, right, you can see Bitcoin, over 200, it's actually over 200% because this was data right before the bull market. Gold is at 2%, S&P 500, okay, 11%. You know, Tesla even 63%. Bitcoin, like, you have to have some respect for crypto because of its growth, right? Whether you love it, you hate it, you got to respect it, all right? Because the facts are the facts and the results are there. Now, Bitcoin is used as a store of value. You got to think about it like a digital gold, all right? This is where you're storing value. It is starting to be legal tender in other countries. It's starting to be used as a currency, but I do think in developed nations, we're kind of a ways away from this as far as like if Bitcoin ever actually does become a legal tender and used as a currency. But right now, it's really being used as a store of value, and we know that because inside the United States, the IRS considers it property. So it's actually pretty similar to real estate. Okay. It can be used as a means of exchange. It does about 4.6 transactions per second right now. The supply is actually disinflationary. It's limited to 21 million coins. So there's no Bitcoin company that can say, hey, Bitcoiners, we actually want to make 48 million Bitcoin. No, it's not in the Bitcoin's algorithm, right? It has an algorithm that cuts the supply in half every 4 years. So every 4 years, right now there's 900 Bitcoin released today. Now there's 450 Bitcoin released today in 4 years. Then after the 450, right, there's 225, right? And that gets cut in half and half and half until there is no Bitcoin left. We're at 21 million, right? We're right at like 18.6 million, I believe, right now. So still under 19 million. In the year about 2140, we will be at 21 million Bitcoin. All right. So there's over 100 million users with a market cap of 738 billion. So 100 million users using crypto right now. It's pretty crazy. Just Bitcoin alone. Altcoins. So they are programmable money. All right. What you need to realize is the altcoins are alternative coins to Bitcoin. So anything that's not Bitcoin, it's an altcoin. All right. Most of them have a programmable feature on their blockchain, right? So you can create applications and ecosystems to make the data in exchange more efficient. Okay, they use the coins to exchange and pay for the fees while using the blockchain. So each transaction generates a fee on the blockchain, and what it uses is its native token or currency, which is usually the cryptocurrency, right? That's why most blockchains have a cryptocurrency, because there's fees involved and they use the native coin, right? Okay, it takes about 5 minutes to create a coin. That's a crazy thing. Anyone can create a cryptocurrency right now. That's why you really got to do some research into what you're buying, right? You can literally just copy code and like duplicate a blockchain and create a coin in 5 minutes. All right. Most users invest like in equity. So like actually most people are saying, oh, I want to actually invest into Ripple, the company. So let me just buy XRP, or I want to invest into Cardano. So let me just buy ADA. Right. So most people are actually using it more like a security, to be honest, than like a token. Right. So that's why the SEC is starting to investigate some of these companies, and that's why regulation definitely poses a risk to crypto, right? So, but that's honestly what people are doing is like, oh, I believe in this company, I believe in their mission, I believe in their values. Let me buy their coin because I can't go buy equity into the regular company because they're not public. So, what is cryptocurrency? A digital currency in which transactions are verified and records maintained by a decentralized system using cryptography, rather than by centralized authorities. So we're going to break down these, a few vital pieces of crypto, especially cryptography. What is blockchain, right? You guys probably heard this word a lot. You probably understand that there's a lot of value in it, but what actually is it? A system in which a record of transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are maintained across several computers that are linked in a peer-to-peer network. So really, it's like an open accounting book that just records data, right? And it's unhackable, it's unbiased, it's recorded in real time, and it's just a place to really like store data, right? And with no central power. What is cryptography? The process of converting ordinary plain text into unintelligible text and vice versa. It is a method of storing and transmitting data in a particular form so that only those for whom it is intended can read and process it, right? So it takes away like counterparty risk and also it takes away the data actually getting compromised in the transaction, right? So if you're sending data from here to here or value from here to here, right, you don't want it to get intercepted and lose that value in data. That's why it actually breaks down the text, right, from plain text into unintelligible text. Just uses a type of encryption, right? That's why I was calling cryptography. So what is the value? The value of cryptocurrency is derived from the efficient, unbiased, secure, and unhackable transmission of data and value that allows central powers to be removed from the process. This reduces fees, collapses time, limits corruption, and makes markets more efficient. All right? That's why cryptocurrency has value, because it removes the central power, it removes counterparty risk, all right? And it actually reduces fees, it collapses time, so it makes things much more efficient, and it limits corruption, right? I'm going to talk about corruption later in this video and show you just how serious it is. Now, the three topics that I think crypto has the most value on is these three things, all right? Number one, it increases efficiency, right? So it removes the central power, right? It actually creates decentralized finance and banking, which is a really, really big deal. And it makes everything more transparent and efficient and cost effective, right? So I'm going to talk a lot about this. Hedge against inflation. This is a really, really big deal. I mean, I've never changed my mindset and thought process behind money it's until the last year and a half with everything that's happened. So I'm going to talk a lot about this as well. And then financial infrastructure, right? A lot of people don't understand how vital this is and how big of a deal it is with the billions and billions that are unbanked across the world and how much opportunity that is to not only make money, but also to provide a huge impact to other people. All right, so let's jump into banking inefficiencies. All right, so I want to move T-Rex over here so you guys can actually see all these. But $30 billion a year in banking fees. All right, that's from I pay $20 a month for my bank account to stay open. That's for I withdraw too much money. They charge me a $50 overdraft fee. Right, $30 billion a year goes to just the banks. Right, just for banking fees. It's crazy. Fractional reserve banking. All right, this is what happens to your money, guys. When you go deposit money into a bank, guess what happens? They don't keep all your money there, okay? They keep between 0 to 10% of your money there. It depends on the bank that you're actually using, like what type of bank it is. They'll keep anywhere between 0% of your money there and 10% of your money there. And guess what they do with all the rest of it? They lend it out 10 times, right? So they go lend it out through credit cards they earn 25% interest on. They lend it out through mortgages, through auto loans, through business loans, through personal loans. And they make anywhere between 1% and 25% on your money. And meanwhile, they pay you 0.01%. Right? That's how the banking system works, right? It's a great business model, to be honest, right? But a lot of people don't even understand what happens to their own money. Okay, you have limited access to your money. All right, if you want to go pull out cash, okay, like for me, I went and pulled out 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand in cash for multiple reasons, mainly for things with a business and videos we were shooting. And, when I go to pull out money, guess what happens? I have to call it in. I have to literally order the money. They tell me what date it's going to be delivered on. Then they schedule a security card to be there. Then I go get the money and the security card, escorts me in and out of the building, right? that's not like true access to your money. You don't have complete control over your money, right? It takes weeks to get your money. Okay. Also, inefficient use and transfer of money, right? It's Saturday right now. Okay. Everyone's on yachts outside in Miami. And if I want to go send a wire to go buy a yacht, I can't do that, right? I cannot do that, but I could send them Bitcoin or just a stable coin, and they would have it in a few seconds, depending on which coin I'm sending them. So you got to realize, like, it is a complete dinosaur. That's why T-Rex is down there, right? Because banking is a dinosaur, right? If I want to send money, it takes forever. There's also tons of fees. When you want to transfer the money, okay, it's very, very expensive to transfer the money, right? If we're going to cross-border payments, a lot of foreigners come and work in countries like the United States. They go to send the money back to their family back home, and guess what? There's so many banks in the intermediary banks in the middle of this transaction that it'll go through like 12 banks. By the time it gets to their family, they have about half as much money as they were trying to send, right? So if you're inside the United States, you don't understand how big of a deal this is, right? It is so expensive to send money and send cross-border payments to other countries. It's insane. It's 2021. I don't know how that's still even an issue. Also, inefficient transfer of financial assets, right? If you have a security, right? If you're trying to change from Morgan Stanley to Charles Schwab, and you're trying to send your securities, well, you got to fill out an account transfer form. You got to by the way, you got to go fax it in, right? Then they got to sign off on it. Then, the bank's got to verify the securities and the cost basis. And then they will finally ACAT the securities over to the new financial institution. In about a week, you're going to have your stocks over at your another financial institution. With crypto, you can just send from any exchange to any other exchange and have it in real time, almost instantly. And everything's verified on the blockchain, which you can clearly see right online. Everyone can see every single transaction with Bitcoin since inception, right? I can see where I bought it back in 2013 and where I sent it to. All right. Also, high interest centralized lending. All right. Like, there's the reason why the banks can charge 25% interest is because there's not enough competition, right? Like, what if we all became the own bank? Okay, what if we all decided to create our own banks and we decide to make lending products, right? We're starting to see that with platforms like Aave, right, and Uniswap, right? This is decentralized finance where millions of people can pool money together into a pool, all right, that's used for short-term lending and loans, which, by the way, is decentralized because it's millions of people putting it together, right? So the competition is much higher, the interest is lower, and it's more efficient because there's no central power with a ton of regulation behind it, right? So that is what's happening right now. That's why DeFi is blowing up so quickly, and that's why the banks hate on crypto so much, because they realize what is happening, right? And if there's irresponsible management by a bank, you lose your money, right? Like, let's say you have $1 million in the bank. Well, 250 grand is FDIC insured. So if the bank goes under, all right, you just lost 750K, right? So, like, don't always think that just because you have your money in the bank that it's safe and it's your money, because that's not always the case. As you can see, centralized finance is long overdue for a big, big change, and cryptocurrency solves a ton of the issues with counterparty risk and all the fees involved and all the inefficiency involved because they're so heavily regulated. And, we pay for the bank to be open. We pay for their employees. We pay for their fax machines. We pay for their payroll. We pay for all that stuff, right? When in a DeFi world, right, that's millions of people coming together to become their own bank, right? We remove the central power, we remove the fees, we remove the inefficiencies. It creates massive value for everyone involved. And that's just one value add. And I'm going to show you the other 3 value adds here in the next 2 videos, right? So make sure to go ahead and click on this next video, watch this next video. It is incredibly important. We're talking about inflation and how cryptocurrency is being used as a hedge. I'm telling you, this is ridiculously valuable, right? This is like, we've never seen this massive of a change with money and value, right? So click on this next video. I'll see you here in a second.